chosen ones. There's something important that you need to hear, something you might not have expected. The feelings of loneliness and isolation you've been experiencing aren't random or meaningless. They are part of a bigger plan, one that is carefully designed with a significant purpose in mind. It may have seemed like a stroke of bad luck, perhaps even something unwanted, but this period of solitude is not an accident. It is a necessary and powerful part of your spiritual journey, and it has been set in motion for reasons that might surprise you. You might have questioned why you're feeling alone, thinking it was something to be avoided or feared. However, this time apart from the world around you is not a punishment. It's a hidden blessing. In our busy lives, we are constantly surrounded by noise, distractions, and chaos that prevent us from seeing clearly, hearing deeply, and connecting with the divine. Solitude, in this sense, is a form of purification. It removes these distractions, providing a peaceful and quiet environment where you can truly listen to your inner voice and hear God's guidance without interference. This time of quiet is essential for growth. It is the foundation where deep thinking, reflection, and clarity can flourish. In these moments, when the world seems to fade away, your faith has the opportunity to grow stronger. You will begin to notice that you no longer rely on the voices of others, the noise of the world, or the opinions of those around you. Instead, you'll find that God is the one you turn to, and His presence will begin to feel more immediate, more real. This deepening dependence on God is crucial because it is in these moments that your trust in Him is built, your belief in His plan solidifies. Even when you feel alone, God's presence is more profound than ever before, guiding you, strengthening your spirit, and preparing you for the journey ahead. What may seem like an uncomfortable solitude is, in fact, a spiritual workshop where your beliefs are both challenged and fortified. The isolation you experience is not an empty void. It is a fertile space for spiritual awakening. In this silence, the divine speaks to you more clearly, and the messages that once felt distant are now within reach. This solitude isn't something to be endured passively. It is an active process of transformation. It is a time when you are being shaped and molded in ways you may not immediately understand, but in ways that will serve you for the rest of your life. When you begin to notice the subtle changes within yourself, small shifts that are not immediately obvious to those around you, don't dismiss them. These are the first signs of the transformation that is taking place deep within you. This is not simply about strengthening what already exists, but about uncovering new aspects of your spiritual self. Parts of you that were previously hidden or dormant. Solitude creates the ideal environment for this type of spiritual exploration and growth, allowing you to understand yourself and your purpose with greater clarity. This journey of solitude is the beginning of something much greater. It is the start of a deeper, more profound connection with God and a clearer understanding of your spiritual path. The changes you experience in this time are not just for now. They are preparing you for the role you are meant to play in this world, for the work you are destined to do. You are being equipped with the tools you need to fulfill your mission with strength, grace, and clarity. And when you emerge from this season of solitude, you will find that you are not just surviving, you are thriving, armed with a greater understanding of your place in the divine plan. As you continue through this phase of solitude, don't see it as a temporary state. It is a necessary step on your spiritual journey, a process that helps you to shed the superficial layers of your ego and confront the true core of your being. In the silence, you are able to strip away the masks, the pretenses, and the false identities that the world has placed upon you. You will begin to see yourself for who you truly are, and more importantly, you will begin to see yourself through God's eye. In this solitude, the need for external validation fades away, and you start to recognize that your worth comes not from the approval of others, but from your connection to the divine. This process of dismantling the ego is crucial. The ego often gets in the way of spiritual progress, feeding off pride, the need for control, and a desire for external recognition. Solitude allows you to confront these aspects of yourself in a way that no external influence can. In this space, you are encouraged to let go of the need for validation from others, and instead depend entirely on God's affirmation. This is where true spiritual growth begins, as you realize that your value is not found in the world's judgments, but in your alignment with God's will. This shift in perspective is essential for your spiritual journey, and it's a process that cannot happen when you are constantly surrounded by the noise of the world. In this solitude, you are given the space to reflect, to deepen your understanding of who you are, and to build a more direct, unshakable connection with God. The distractions of everyday life are gone, and you are left with nothing but the opportunity to listen, to hear God's voice more clearly, to understand His guidance more deeply. This is a time of spiritual growth that cannot be replicated without the constant interruptions of the outside world. You are able to give your full attention to your spiritual practices, and in doing so, you open yourself up to breakthroughs and new revelations that will propel you forward on your path. This is not just about self-reflection. This is a preparation for a more significant role in the world. As you emerge from this time of solitude, you will find that your perspective you will approach life with a fresh sense of purpose, and your interactions with others will be informed by the wisdom and compassion you have gained during your time of quiet. Your relationships will change, and you will begin to relate to others in a way that reflects the growth you've experienced. You will be better equipped to inspire, lead, and positively influence the world around you. Solitude is not a punishment. It is a gift, a sacred space where you are prepared for the life you are meant to live. It is a time for growth, for self-discovery, and for spiritual awakening. It is a time to reflect, to listen, and to receive the wisdom that God has for you. And when you step out of this phase, you will find that you are no longer the person you were before. You are stronger, wiser, and more deeply connected to your divine purpose than ever before. Now, I invite you to comment God and subscribe to the Soul Ascendancy channel. Let this message be a reminder that your solitude is not in vain. It is a divine process that is shaping you into the person you were meant to be. Stay with us on this journey, and let's continue exploring the depths of your spiritual path together. During these moments of isolation, the chosen ones not only deepen their connection with God, but also face the profound realization that this time is part of the sacred design of their journey. It's in the quiet spaces of solitude where they are given the opportunity to reflect on their divine purpose and the path ahead. They come to understand that everything, even the hardships, are part of a divine plan, and each challenge they face is an opportunity to grow stronger in their faith and trust in God. This sacred period of solitude may seem like a pause in life, but in reality, it's a time of intense spiritual preparation. It's not about being idle or waiting for something to happen. It's about being shaped and refined for the divine mission ahead. As they draw closer to God, the chosen ones begin to understand that they are being molded into vessels for His purpose, and the trials they face are tools that help them become more resilient and spiritually equipped. While the external world may seem quiet and distant, internally, there is a profound transformation occurring. The spiritual connection deepens, and the clarity they gain during these times sets them on a path that aligns more closely with God's will. They begin to see their lives through a different lens, one that reveals not only their personal struggles, but also their role in the grand cosmic narrative of good versus evil. They start to understand that their challenges are not random or purposeless, but are part of a greater plan that they have been chosen to fulfill. In solitude, they often uncover gifts that were previously hidden from them. These gifts may be spiritual, like heightened discernment or increased empathy, or they may be personal, such as new insights into their strengths and weaknesses. This period of self-discovery is essential because it gives them the tools they need to navigate the complexities of their spiritual journey with more wisdom and understanding. They come out of their isolation stronger, more focused, and with a renewed sense of purpose, ready to take on the responsibilities that await them in their ministry and service to others. However, the time spent in solitude is not always easy. The silence can feel deafening at times, and the absence of familiar comforts and distractions may seem overwhelming. But this is where the chosen ones learn to lean on God more than ever before. It is in these moments of loneliness that they experience the depth of His presence, and it is through His strength that they find the courage to face the challenges that arise. Solitude teaches them that they are never truly alone, because God is always with them, even in the quietest and darkest moments. As they emerge from their time of isolation, they bring with them not only a stronger sense of self, but also a deeper connection to the divine. This inner transformation enables them to serve others with greater empathy and understanding. They are no longer the same person they were before. They are now vessels of God's light, equipped with the wisdom and strength needed to guide others on their own spiritual path. The period of solitude also serves as a time of healing and renewal. It's a chance to confront past wounds and unresolved issues, to face the emotional scars that may have been carried for years. In this sacred space, healing takes place, and the chosen ones are able to release the burdens of the past that might have hindered their spiritual growth. This healing process is essential for their journey forward because it frees them from the weight of old pain, allowing them to embrace new opportunities with open hearts and minds. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the noise of daily life, the constant flow of information, the demands of work, the expectations of society. It can be hard to hear God's voice amid all the distractions, but solitude offers a reprieve from this chaos. It provides the space and time needed to hear His gentle whispers, to tune in to the subtle guidance that leads them on their divine path. This ability to hear God more clearly is a crucial part of the chosen one's spiritual journey because it ensures that they are always walking in alignment with His will. During this time of isolation, the chosen ones also learn to trust in God's timing. There may be moments when they feel like nothing is happening, when it seems like they are stuck in a waiting period, but God is always working in the background, preparing them for what's to come. They learn that everything has its purpose, and that even in the waiting, they are being shaped and prepared for the divine mission ahead. Trusting in God's timing is an essential lesson because it helps them let go of the need to control every aspect of their lives and surrender to His plan. As they navigate this period of solitude, they come to understand that this is not a punishment but a blessing. It's a time of divine refinement where they are being prepared for the next phase of their journey. Through this process, they develop a deeper faith, a stronger connection with God, and an increased sense of purpose. They become more attuned to His voice and more confident in their ability to carry out the mission He has given them. And so as they emerge from this sacred time of solitude, they are ready to face the challenges that lie ahead, ready to serve others with the love and wisdom they have gained, and ready to fulfill their divine purpose. Their faith is stronger, their connection to God is deeper, and their understanding of their role in the world is clearer. They are no longer the same person they were before. They have been transformed, and they are now prepared to walk boldly in the path that God has set before them. If you found peace and insight through this message, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments and engage with others who may be on a similar journey. And if you feel called to continue exploring these profound spiritual truths, please subscribe to the Soul of Ascendancy channel. Together, we can continue to grow in our faith and strengthen our connection to the divine. May you find the strength, wisdom, and peace that come from embracing solitude and trusting in God's plan for your life. Take care, and remember, you are never alone in this journey. As we move through the various stages of our lives, we inevitably encounter moments when the path ahead appears shrouded in uncertainty. In these times, challenges may seem overwhelming, and the weight of life's difficulties can feel unbearable. It's as though the very essence of our existence is being tested, and the answers we seek remain elusive. For those who have been chosen for a higher purpose, these periods of struggle and solitude are not merely obstacles to be endured, but crucial opportunities for deep and transformative spiritual growth. They are not just pauses in the grand narrative of our lives, but are in fact sacred and pivotal moments. In these times of isolation, when the noise of the outside world is quieted, we are invited into a space of profound self-reflection and inner refinement. It is within this solitude that we have the chance to reconnect with our inner selves and realign with our spiritual essence. The silence becomes a sacred container in which we can face our inner battles, confront unresolved wounds, and come to a deeper understanding of our true nature. The process of solitude can be uncomfortable and unsettling, especially when we are accustomed to seeking external validation or distraction. However, these moments are essential for sharpening our spiritual insight, enabling us to gain clarity about our deeper calling and purpose in life. Far from being a time of abandonment, solitude becomes a space where the chosen ones can grow and be nurtured. It is a time for healing, not just from external circumstances, but also from the wounds that have been carried within us for years. These are the moments where we can shed old patterns, heal old scars, and emerge stronger, more attuned to our divine purpose. The solitude that may initially feel like loneliness or isolation slowly reveals itself as a necessary cocoon that prepares us for the greater mission ahead. Through these times of quiet reflection and personal transformation, we are spiritually honed and shaped. We are given the space to evolve, to break free from past limitations, and to embrace the fullness of the divine plan that awaits us. It is in these sacred moments that we grow, heal, and ultimately become ready to step into the roles we were always meant to fulfill, far from being a passive experience. This solitude becomes an active process of inner cultivation that prepares the chosen ones to meet the challenges of the world with greater strength, wisdom, and purpose. Solitude, though many see it as a period of loneliness or disconnection, contains a transformative potential that brings us closer to God in ways that are difficult to understand unless experienced. In the stillness of solitude, when the hustle and bustle of daily life fade away, we are granted the precious gift of silence. It is in this silence that we have the opportunity to truly listen, to tune in to the faint yet powerful voice of God, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and our divine purpose, away from the distractions that constantly vie for our attention. We become more attuned to the subtle whispers of the divine, enabling us to hear the guidance that we may have missed in the noise of our usual routines. In these sacred moments of quiet, the chosen ones are given the space to reflect on their journey and understand the broader scope of their lives. This solitude reveals that their existence is not an isolated or random experience, but rather part of a grander, cosmic design orchestrated by God. As they begin to see the bigger picture, they realize that their lives are imbued with a purpose far beyond what they may have initially understood. The struggles and challenges they encounter along the way are not mere obstacles placed in their path to hinder their. Instead, these challenges serve as crucial tools for their spiritual development, designed to prepare them for the greater mission that lies ahead. Through the lens of solitude, the trials they face become opportunities for growth, transformation, and refinement. Each difficulty is an invitation to trust in God more deeply, to lean on Him for strength and guidance, rather than seeing their struggles as setbacks. The chosen ones come to understand that these moments are essential components of their spiritual preparation. It is during these periods of solitude that they gain the clarity needed to align their actions with God's will, to discern the divine purpose for their lives, and to build the spiritual resilience necessary to carry out that purpose with grace and conviction. Solitude, in its deepest sense, is not a punishment, but a blessing. A divine tool used to refine and purify the soul. It offers a space for the chosen ones to step back from the world and reconnect with their true essence, to heal, and to develop the spiritual fortitude required to face the challenges that lie ahead. This time of separation from the world allows them to cultivate a deeper, more intimate relationship with God, one that will sustain them through the trials of life and empower them to fulfill their divine purpose with unwavering faith and clarity. In the stillness of solitude, the chosen ones are granted the sacred opportunity to cultivate a profound trust in God's presence. When the world around them fades into quiet and the external voices that often guide and comfort them are no longer present, they begin to realize that their true source of support has always been God. This is not a fleeting presence, dependent on circumstances or the validation of others, but a constant and unshakable foundation. In the absence of external reassurance, they learn that God's presence is always with them, enveloping them with even in the most isolated and silent moments. They are never truly alone, for God's love and guidance remain steadfast and unwavering. As they sit in the quiet of their solitude, the chosen ones come to understand that God's presence is not contingent on their situation or the approval of those around them. It is not something that fluctuates with the demands of life, but rather a steady force, always there, always available. This realization shifts their perspective, allowing them to rely less on the external world and more on the deep, unshakable truth of God's constant companionship. As they lean into this understanding, their trust in Him deepens, growing stronger with each path. During these quiet times, their faith is tested, not in the absence of challenges, but in the absence of external validation. It is easy to trust in God when the world affirms our path, when we receive praise or encouragement from others, but in solitude, when those external sources of strength and approval are gone, the chosen ones are forced to depend solely on God. This is where their trust is forged. In the stillness, away from the world's distractions, they learn to rely entirely on God's guidance and strength. The more they place their trust in Him during these times, the more deeply they experience His love and wisdom. It is in solitude that their faith is purified, becoming less reliant on human affirmation and more deeply rooted in the divine. The trust they build in solitude forms the bedrock upon which their spiritual resilience is constructed. Each moment spent in the presence of God, even when silent and seemingly uneventful, strengthens their foundation. As they continue to walk this journey, the relationship they develop with God becomes more intimate, more personal, and more profound. It is during these times of quiet and isolation that they experience God's love in ways that words cannot fully describe. A love that is not conditioned on their actions or achievements, but a love that is simply profoundly present. And it is through this love that they find the strength to face the challenges ahead, knowing that they are never truly alone, no matter where their journey takes them. It is crucial to understand that the time of solitude experienced by the chosen ones is not a form of punishment, nor is it a test to see how much they can endure. Instead, it is a vital and intentional stage in their spiritual journey, a part of the divine process of growth and transformation. Just as a seed must be buried in the dark, fertile soil before it can sprout and grow into something beautiful, so too must the chosen ones undergo moments of isolation and stillness. These moments are not signs of abandonment, but essential processes that allow them to become the people they are meant to be. They are not buried in the dark to be forgotten, but rather to be nourished, strengthened, and prepared to emerge into a greater purpose. In the same way that the seed needs darkness to germinate and develop, the chosen ones need solitude to nurture their spiritual growth. During this time, they are being prepared for the fullness of their divine mission. The quietness, the stillness, and even the challenges they face in isolation are the very things that refine them. It is in these moments of solitude that their faith is purified, tested, and fortified. The absence of external distractions and the removal of worldly influences allow them to focus entirely on God's presence, deepening their understanding of His will and His purpose for their lives. Far from being a time of abandonment, this period of solitude is a sacred preparation. It is in the silence that they learn to listen more closely to God's voice, to discern His guidance with greater clarity, and to trust in His plan more deeply. These moments of isolation are not without purpose. Rather, they serve as the crucible in which their spiritual resilience is forged. Their faith is tested and refined in the heat of silence and solitude, and the trials they face during this time are necessary to strengthen them for the greater mission that lies ahead. The chosen ones are not left alone in this time. Rather, they are being shaped and equipped by God. Each moment of solitude is a stepping stone toward their greater purpose, a necessary part of their spiritual preparation. As they endure the challenges of isolation, they are building the inner strength, trust, and spiritual resilience that will empower them to step into the fullness of their calling. They are being prepared for something far greater than they can currently imagine, something that will require them to be fully equipped with the wisdom, courage, and unwavering faith that only God can provide. In essence, this time of solitude is not an obstacle, but a divine opportunity, a time to grow, to heal, to strengthen, and to prepare for the greater work ahead. It is in this sacred space of stillness that they are made ready to step into their divine purpose with clarity, confidence, and unshakable trust in God's plan for their lives. The silence is not empty. It is filled with purpose, filled with divine preparation, and filled with the promise of what is to come. And when they emerge from this time, They will be ready to fulfill their higher calling with strength, wisdom, and a deep connection to the divine. As you reflect on the profound lessons shared today, I invite you to deepen your connection with this message. If you feel that God has been speaking to you through this video, take a moment to express your faith. Comment God AA as a way to affirm His presence in your life, and share your thoughts with others on this journey. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to the Soul Ascendancy channel, where we continue to explore the transformative power of solitude, faith, and divine purpose. Your support helps us reach more hearts, so together we can grow in spiritual strength and understanding. Thank you for being here, and may God's guidance continue to illuminate your path. The lessons that are learned in solitude go beyond the individual experience. They are meant to be shared and used to uplift others. While the time spent alone is deeply personal and serves as a period of spiritual refinement, it is not a journey meant to be kept in isolation. Instead, it prepares the chosen ones to emerge from this sacred time with a new understanding, not only of themselves but also of the world around them. Their growth in solitude enables them to develop a more compassionate heart, one that recognizes the struggles and burdens of having gone through their own period of testing and refinement. They now carry with them a deeper understanding of the human condition, knowing firsthand how difficult it can be to navigate the spiritual battles that we all face. When chosen ones come out of their time of solitude, they are not the same as they were when they entered. Their faith is stronger, their understanding of God's guidance deeper, and their resilience more robust. But perhaps most importantly, they now possess a greater sense of empathy. They understand, in a more profound way, the struggles that others endure. This new perspective equips them to approach the challenges of the world with a spirit of service and love. Knowing that every person is walking their own journey, often one filled with trials and difficulties, they can now connect on a level that goes beyond mere sympathy. Their empathy is grounded in their own lived experiences, which makes them more effective leaders and mentors to those around them. This newfound compassion gives them the ability to guide others with wisdom and humility. They can share their experiences of solitude, not as a way to boast or claim superiority, but as a way to show others that the struggles they face can lead to growth, healing, and transformation. They become the hands and feet of God, offering comfort and encouragement to those who need it most. As leaders, they are more patient and understanding, willing to walk alongside others in their own journeys of spiritual growth. Their time of isolation has equipped them to be more devoted servants in the world, reflecting the love and grace they have received from God during their time alone. Ultimately, solitude shapes the chosen ones not only into stronger individuals but into vessels through which God's love and wisdom flow to others. It is in the sharing of what they have learned, this offering of their own growth, that they fulfill their divine purpose, becoming true instruments of change and healing in the world. In the sacred space of solitude, chosen ones come to understand the profound importance of in a world that is constantly filled with noise and distractions. Moments of isolation provide a rare opportunity to step away from the chaos and focus entirely on their connection with the distractions of daily life removed. They are able to fully immerse themselves in their spiritual practices, which become the cornerstone of their faith. Prayer, meditation, and the study of sacred texts take on a new depth during these times of quiet, as they provide a direct line to the divine and a way to nourish their spirits. These spiritual practices are not merely rituals, but transformative actions that build a bridge between the chosen ones and their Creator. Through prayer, they open their hearts, speaking to God in honesty and vulnerability. So meditation allows them to still their minds, creating space for God's presence to fill the quiet. The study of sacred texts brings wisdom and clarity, offering guidance that helps them navigate the complexities of life. In solitude, these practices are no longer tasks to be checked off a list, but become acts of devotion, love, and surrender. They are the means by which the chosen ones grow in their spiritual awareness and cultivate a deeper connection with the divine. It is in these quiet, uninterrupted moments that they begin to hear God's voice more clearly. Without the constant buzz of external influences, the still small voice of God becomes more audible. His guidance, once subtle and faint, becomes more distinct. leading them in their decisions, actions, and thoughts. This deeper relationship with God is not one that is selfish or insular. Rather, it is a relationship that serves a higher purpose, one that extends beyond the individual. As chosen ones grow closer to God, they are also equipped to be instruments of His love, wisdom, and grace in the world. This deepened connection with God, born in the solitude, is not simply for the chosen one's personal benefit. Their transformation is part of a greater plan, one that involves serving others and being vessels of God's love and truth. The spiritual discipline cultivated in solitude prepares them to step into the world with a heart full of compassion and understanding. It strengthens their ability to discern God's will, not just for their own lives, but for those they are called to. In this way, solitude becomes a sacred time of preparation, not just for personal growth, but for fulfilling the divine mission they are called to in the world. The time of solitude provides a unique space for healing, allowing chosen ones to address wounds that may have been buried deep within them for many years. These wounds, whether emotional, spiritual, or physical, can weigh heavily on the heart, mind. Often, they remain hidden beneath the surface, suppressed by the demands of life or overlooked in the rush of daily existence. But in the silence and stillness of solitude, these wounds can no longer be ignored. They come to the surface, demanding attention, not as a burden but as an invitation to healing. For many chosen ones, this is a difficult process. Confronting past hurts and traumas can be painful, as it requires revisiting memories and experiences that may have caused deep emotional or spiritual. However, this pain is not without purpose. The healing process, though uncomfortable at times, is a necessary step toward freedom. It is in the quiet of solitude that they can allow God to touch these wounds, to bring light to the darkness, and to begin the work of restoration. The process is not instantaneous. It takes time, patience, and grace. Yet, as they allow themselves to face these hurts, they begin to release the grip that the past has had over them. The beauty of this healing process lies in its liberating nature. As chosen ones face their past and allow God to heal the brokenness within, they are freed from the weight that has held them back for so long. No longer defined by their wounds, they are able to move forward with a renewed sense of strength, purpose, and clarity. In this healing, they are made whole again, not because their past is erased, but because they have been restored and empowered to live in the fullness of their divine calling. Solitude provides the space for this transformation to occur. Without the distractions and noise of the outside world, there is room for deep reflection, honest self-examination, and spiritual renewal. In the stillness, chosen ones can allow God to work in their hearts, bringing healing where it is most needed. The time spent alone becomes a sacred opportunity to lay down the burdens of the past, to trust in God's redemptive power, and to emerge from the solitude not as victims of their past, but as victors ready to embrace their purpose with a fresh sense of hope and vitality. As chosen ones heal, they are also granted a precious opportunity to pause and reflect on the journey they have traveled thus far. The solitude provides a sacred space for deep introspection, allowing them to look back at their experiences, the lessons learned, and the challenges faced. During this time of reflection, they are able to assess their spiritual path and consider where they are in relation to where God desires them to be. This introspection is not merely an evaluation of the past, but a chance to realign their hearts, minds, and actions with God's will for their lives. In this moment of solitude, the chosen ones are invited to examine their priorities and to evaluate whether they are in harmony with God's divine plan. It becomes clear that certain distractions or attachments, whether they be material possessions, unhealthy relationships, or worldly pursuits, have served as barriers to their spiritual growth. These attachments, though sometimes comforting or familiar, often divert attention away from the higher purpose that God has set before them. It is in the quiet of solitude that they are able to discern these hindrances, see them for what they truly are, and begin the process of shedding them. This purification process is not about achieving perfection or striving for an idealized version of themselves. Rather, it is about surrendering to God's will and allowing Him to mold them into the individuals they are meant to be. It is an acknowledgement that they are not in control, but that God's guidance is the true compass that leads them forward. This surrender is an act of trust. Trust that God knows what is best. Trust that His plan for their lives is more profound and more beautiful than anything they could imagine on their own. Purification, in this sense, is a refining process. It is not about becoming flawless, but about becoming more fully aligned with God's heart and purposes. It is about allowing God to strip away the layers of worldly desires and false notions that cloud their vision and prevent them from fully stepping into their divine calling. As they surrender to this process, they are transformed from the inside out. Their hearts become more attuned to God's voice, and their minds more receptive to His guidance. This transformation is not instant, but gradual, as they continue to grow in their understanding of God's will and deepen their relationship with Him. In this period of purification, the chosen ones are not alone. God walks with them, gently guiding them, healing their wounds, and refining their character. They learn to trust in His perfect timing and His perfect plan. Through this process of surrender and purification, they are being prepared for the next phase of their spiritual journey, a journey that will require greater strength, deeper faith, and a closer relationship with the divine. Through the process of solitude, chosen ones develop a deeper understanding of the spiritual realm. They begin to recognize the subtle influences and spiritual forces at work in their lives. This heightened spiritual awareness allows them to discern the truth more clearly, to see beyond the surface of situations, and to navigate life with a deeper sense of purpose and clarity. The challenges they face are no longer viewed as random or meaningless, but as opportunities for spiritual growth and transformation. They begin to understand that everything they experience, both the joys and the struggles, is part of a larger divine plan. As chosen ones embrace their solitude, they also begin to cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude. In the silence, they come to realize the blessings that have been bestowed upon them, even in the midst of challenges. They learn to appreciate the small moments of grace, the subtle ways in which God speaks to them, and the deep peace that comes from resting in His presence. This gratitude becomes a source of strength, allowing them to face the future with confidence and hope. When chosen ones emerge from their time of solitude, they do so with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. They are no longer the same person who entered the isolation. They have been transformed, refined, and strengthened. They are now equipped to face the challenges ahead with a deeper trust in God's guidance and a stronger connection to His will. This transformation is not just for their own benefit, but for the benefit of those around them. As they step into their divine purpose, they bring with them a deeper understanding of God's love, a greater capacity for compassion, and a stronger desire to serve. The chosen ones are called to be leaders in the world, to guide others on their own spiritual journeys. But before they can do this, they must first undergo a period of transformation, a time of solitude and preparation. In these moments of isolation, they are shaped and refined, ready to take on the responsibilities that lie ahead. They are called to be vessels of God's light, to share His love and wisdom with the world. And it is through their time of solitude that they are prepared to fulfill this sacred mission. In conclusion, the time spent in solitude is not a time of punishment or abandonment, but a sacred and necessary part of the spiritual journey. It is during these moments of isolation that the chosen ones are refined, healed, and prepared for the divine purpose that lies ahead. Through solitude, they develop a deeper connection to God, sharpen their spiritual insight, and gain the strength to face the challenges that await them. They emerge from this period stronger, wiser, and more compassionate, ready to serve others and fulfill their divine calling. So as you reflect on your own journey, I encourage you to embrace solitude as a time of growth, healing, and preparation. Trust in God's plan and know that even in your moments of isolation, you are never alone. Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you feel called to continue exploring these spiritual truths, please consider subscribing to the Soul Ascendancy channel. May you be blessed with peace, strength, and unwavering faith as you walk in your divine purpose.